Hey everyone, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can be friends. Today we are actually doing a viewer requested video. We're going to make the dragon pop-up card. So a lovely viewer named Anna requested this. Hi Anna! So to find this project, you just want to go into projects, all categories, and click cards. And right now it's on the top row, second from the end, and it's called the Party Dragon Pop-Up Card. Let's click on there. So if you're going to go with the same color scheme, white, yellow, orange, blue, light green, and glitter gold cardstock, and that is only for the dragon's fire coming out of the dragon's mouth. You do need 2 pens. They're calling for black and blue. And I can let you know right now, 8.5 by 11 paper is big enough, as long as you're not doing the card. So let's get back to the screen. So there's all the pieces here. I'm just going to give you one heads up. The really small pieces are very delicate. So if you have the Cricut mini spatula, that helps quite a bit getting those pieces off. I'll show you that at my craft table in case you don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't have it, just use extra care taking those pieces off because they are quite small. But let's start putting this together. Here's everything cut out. I know it looks a little overwhelming, but it's actually not that bad to put together. You just have to be a little more delicate on this one. So the first things we're going to do, I'm just going to move the body pieces out of the way. We're going to glue some of these pieces together. So we're going to start with the dragon's breath, just because he's the main piece to put together when we're building the dragon. So I'm using my regular white craft glue. I've got a new bottle, yay! Make sure I'm still in frame for you. You just want to line it up as close to his mouth as possible. Put him off to the side to dry. Next, we're going to glue these wing pieces on. So they just lay on top. They're quite bendable, so be careful on that. And there is a score line right there. And again, like these are the delicate pieces I was talking about. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the spatula in case you don't have one. So this is the spatula here. So it's very thin on the end. And as you're pulling the mat away from the paper, you can just kind of get it in there and help pull the delicate pieces down. Again, you don't have to do it, but it will make it easier for you. Okay, and again, these parts are just easier to do first. I think Cricut, in their directions, they do call for it. There's score lines in the bottom part of the cake. That's what this piece is. So it just makes a little box. So we'll glue this tab. Line it up, put him off to the side. Now, the other 2 pieces you have to glue together from the start are 2 parts of the party hat. I'm going to use my little tool here to get them picked up. So there's 2 that are identical. That's what we're gluing. So again, this is a little trickier because it's such a small piece. I think tape would be a little too hard on this one. We want to line it up. Let's pick it up and get everything lined up because there is a slit on the top. Now we're going to start putting the dragon itself together. I am going to deviate a little bit from the instructions. I find sometimes that Cricut instructions don't make sense. So the very first pieces they say to put together are the two big body pieces. We're not going to do that. We're going to add two pieces first, then the body one. So let's grab our main guy there. And then there's two pieces with these humps on them. They got 2 slits on the top, 3 slits on the bottom. There's one that has a tab. We're not using that one. So we're going to grab the bigger of the two. Kind of, I don't even know what they're shaped like. Let's pick them up. I trimmed all my nails, so it's harder to pick up the paper. So holding the pieces like this, the dragon has 3 slits on the top. So the middle bottom slit goes in the middle top slit on the dragon. And this part gets in the way, so do it like this. Keep them parallel to each other and slide it down. So this is what it looks like when the card is closed. And then you can open it up just a little bit. I've got my finger between the two, and you're going to grab the smaller one and slide that one in as well. So then they can both face forward, and you'll find it easier, and you don't have to bend anything to get it in. Then you take the big horn piece, and the middle bottom slit slides into the top slit of the dragon. So we've got 3 attached to the dragon, and they've all coming in from the top. And then the hump with the tab, let's put our dragon down for a second. You can tab that one. And he goes in the bottom top one. So let's slide that one in there. So this one you have to finagle a little bit. You can do the sideways one if you want. So there, just slides in. So now we can stand our dragon up. And we've only got a couple pieces left. So we got the 2 body pieces. That's what we're working on next. So I'm going to face my dragon towards me. He's shooting his fire at me. Now the wings have a score line in them. You can put the score in. You don't want them forward too much. It's just to kind of give them a bit of shape. If they're forward too much, the card won't close. You'll get it jammed on stuff. So let's do both of those. And they've got 4 slits on the bottom. And if you look along the side of your dragon, the inside available slits, there's 4 of them. So that's where he slides onto. So finagle it on there the best you can. This part's a little tricky. The 2 inner pieces are higher for their slits than the bottom piece, but he fits in very nicely. So it looks like that. So now you got 2 facing the same way as the dragon and 4 facing the opposite way. Oh, don't drop your dragon. It might make him angry. And the second side piece with the wings, do the exact same on the opposite side. So I'll get mine in. Again, start with the 2 middle ones because they're higher. And just slowly get them in there. There we go. So now your dragon has arms, his tail, and his wings. So now we got these 2 pieces left for the body. One has a tab, one does not. With your dragon facing you, the one with the tab goes on this side, the one without the tab on this side. These come up through the bottom. So these are the last two body pieces, and there's only 3 slits. So slide those in. Again, you might have to finagle. I seem to love that word. This one, pop your tab and put him on the other side. I'm guessing this is a male dragon. And be careful, because your leg wants to pop out the other side. So you gotta finagle. Hold stuff in weird positions. So hold from the bottom. There we go. There's our dragon. We got a little bit more we have to do to him. But we're going to attach him to this first. So this is his little part that holds him together. There is a score line in there. There we go. Very carefully, we're going to slide the tabs in. It's always the tricky part. Then we're going to close them. Make sure the tabs are pulled out all the way. You can hold them closed. Make sure that it's not going to cover any of the fun little cutouts there, like the confetti. Make sure your dragon is opening and closing. His tail kind of gets in the way a little bit on the closing, so be careful of that. But he will settle into place where he wants to be when he's closed. So you can either use tape or glue. I'm going to use tape, if I can get it on there. So there's one. There's 2. Okay, so once you're at this point, your dragon will stay together pretty well. Now we have to attach his hat. Gotta have a party hat if you're gonna have a birthday. So top slit, bottom slit, they slide together. Now I do have a little tip for keeping this one in place. So you put them together, and the one with the bottom slit, we're gonna glue that one. And we're going to glue it to the top of the dragon's head. Because if you don't, this is just going to fall off. So I recommend holding it by the one with the bottom slit. And just get him in there. And he has a mind of his own. The hats are always tricky. Same with the star on the Christmas tree. Okay. So I just put a little bit of glue, just a small amount. And I'm going to tab him to the side of the dragon's face. And it's just going to keep him on there. Then we don't have to worry about him. He's a little crooked, but that's okay. Put our dragon off to the side. We're going to grab our party banner. This has a tab in the middle and the 2 bottom tabs. So fold your center one. Be careful. It's a really thin piece of cardstock. So we got him folded. Now for the bottom tabs, you have to fold them backwards, so away from the pen. If you don't, and don't ask me how I know this, you will see the yellow tab there. So I always make these cards. I do one myself to make sure I'm doing it properly and see if there's any tips or tricks. And then I make a second one, and I folded these the wrong way on the first one. That's how I know. Okay. We still have the cake left. Don't worry. We're just letting the hat itself glue down. So 2 slits. You want your slits facing this way. Make sure it's both on the camera. So a higher part of the slit is towards the center. These slide into the slits. And then you want to make sure to close this up and line up your cardstock. That's how it closes. A little bit peeks out. Don't worry about that. Just moving my tabs around a little bit. Let's get my tape runner. We'll close that side. Flip it over. Close this side. Grab your main card. That side's the front. I've got my bone folder out, but sometimes it's just easier not to use it. Okay, we got our card folded in half. We've got our banner there. So when this sits open, the white doesn't line up. So let's show it inside the card. So you're going to leave a bit of a gap. Kind of try your best to make it as even as possible. I always do the back side first, because it's always the easiest one to do. Line up your card again. Mine shifted out of position. There we go. Let's grab some tape so we can tape this down. Again, if you use glue, it just takes a little longer to dry between each of the steps, so I do recommend that you get a tape runner. I find it super convenient, especially with these pop-up cards. Lining it up again. Make sure to do this part because that little piece of the yellow banner that sticks out, if you line it up right along the score line, you're going to run into issues. So there, that looks good. Close the card. One side attached. Now we do the same for the other side. Okay, so we got the dragon cut out there, so I'm going to use my Tombow clear fine tip pen tip glue. Then we know all these pieces will stick very nicely. Okay. Tape run on the white so I don't accidentally have tape showing through the confetti. Okay, we're going to line this up again. We're going to shut this side. Press all that glue in. Okay, card off to the side. Bring your dragon back. Now we're going to put the cake together. The cake is tricky. So the two pieces slide in You have the top and the bottom. We're going to put that off to the side. And first, so when you're attaching the cake, once this part goes in, you have 4 little squares inside the big square. I find that gluing, and again, this is a tricky part, gluing it in like that, if it would stay for me. So the present as far away from possible. So I'm going to glue this in first and then add the cake just because it is easier to do it that way. I didn't come up with the way to keep the cake candle part attached. So keep that in mind, that's the only part that can really potentially fall off. We're going to put this in here. There's the Cricut puts a pen line. So that's what you're attaching to. There's one side glued in. And by gluing this in, your cake's not gonna, like, you have no choice, you have to, or it's gonna pop out. I just find it easier to do it without the candle in there. I believe the instructions did call for the candle being in there. And then just kind of push the fire out of the way, and it slides in on top. There's 4 slits on top, 4 slits on bottom. I could get them all in there. I got one that doesn't want to go in. There. So there's our dragon. So he's holding his cake. Got a cute little candle on it. So this is why I put it so far forward, just because the candle gets really close. Okay, we've only got 1 step left. Can you believe it? Told you this one wasn't that bad. So we're going to close our dragon. And you might have to help it at this point. So everything will close together. And again, I'm going to use my tape runner. Okay, so when attaching this one, it lines up center of the card, and you line it up at the bottom. I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the white inserts. And I just push it in there, close the side I taped on, press it down, and then we're going to do the same on the other. Watch out for the confetti. So here is the front of the card. The glue's all nice and dry. Little bit popping up there, but you can go back and fix that if you have that problem. Back of the card is plain. Open it up. The dragon comes to life. The banner pops up at the back, and it does have a bit of a curve to it. So don't worry about that. There's the side view of the dragon. Let's pop his present open a little bit there. So he'll sit perfectly once you open it all the way. So there's that side. The only downside to this is the dragon face and tail doesn't get the pen on this side. But the rest of his body features do get it. And see that the wings just kind of have a little bit of a bend to them. There's the back side. That's how easy it is to put this card together. You just need a little bit of patience. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you. Until next time.